On occasion, you and I have exchanged texts and, in fact, phone calls at 3 o'clock in the morning.
We have.
And it's not always because I got up to use the can.
No, it's because we're usually thinking about business and working on our businesses because we're trying to grow our businesses.
Because we are serious about growing our businesses.
That is true. And it's not for the faint of heart.
It's not. I am aghast at the people I talk to who seem to run their business like it's their hobby.
Oh, God. How many times have we actually talked about people that we either personally know or businesses that we have seen struggle that are always publicly whining and complaining that their business isn't growing, and yet you know that they're off to the soccer game, they're off to the movies, they're going on a date, they want to go meet with their friends.
All of which are, worthy pursuits.
They are. But if you're trying to grow a business and complaining that there's no business, and I love the Buffalo Bills, but when I first started growing this business, that was secondary.
Yeah. Joel, I've heard the term work-life balance, and there is some reality to that.
There is.
I tend to look at it more like a teeter-totter. And by that, I simply mean if you're balancing, no one's having fun on either end of that. Be fully committed to one side, work your butt off. And when it's time to take a break, be with family, do your hobbies, go to the other side, go hard, be fully present. When we look at cleaning company owners, new business owners, what are some of the characteristics that you see that go along with treating their business like a hobby? We can talk about the results, but what are some of those characteristics that our listeners might end up seeing in themselves?
Sometimes the busy work in a business that has to be done, they want to back burner it and go out to dinner with their friends. And then by the time they've gone to dinner with their friends and had a good time and eaten a full meal, now they're tired and they want to go home and just go to sleep and not worry about the busy work in their business. Because who likes writing bills? Who likes writing forecasts? Nobody. I mean, I don't like it. I like to be busy. I like to see progress. But the busy work of, doing the invoicing, things like that, it's important. If the invoicing doesn't go out, you don't get paid. And the longer it takes to go out from the time that work that's been completed, if you wait a week to do it, that's a week longer. You got to wait for the money. And then when you don't have money coming in, now you're off trying to maybe, do DoorDash, Uber, something like that, and try to get some quick money in that way.
So what we've talked about right there is putting off the drudgery work, because we all have drudgery work at our work.
Procrastination is huge.
And then splitting your attention between, I could go out right now and get a filler job. And there are times that we've had to do that in our career.
Oh, no doubt.
But not because we didn't get the drudgery work done.
We got our primary stuff done first. Sometimes people who are in new relationships, whether it's a new dating relationship, a new marriage, or whatever, they want to spend a lot of quality time with that individual who might have a normal 9-to-5 type job. Well, in the cleaning world, depending on if you're a maid service, and working in people's homes, you're probably starting very early in the morning and working to early afternoon. Or if you're in a commercial cleaning like I am, you might have morning accounts, afternoon accounts, evening accounts, and maybe even C-shift accounts, depending on verticals that you're working in. So you don't have a normal, maybe sit-down dinner time. So when that new relationship enters your life, now you want to spend more time doing that than growing your business. When I started my business partner, I was very honest and upfront with them saying, we're starting from nothing. We are starting on a shoestring. We did not have a lot of investment capital to go into our business. We were going to have to do most of the work ourselves. That meant we didn't get to do a lot of the fun things that our friends used to do, or that we'd get these calls, hey, you want to go dinner tonight? You want to go to the show? Want to go to the game? We couldn't. That got to be too much for them, because I told them it would be about 5 to 7 years. And as we approached that time and we put in all this time and the business was finally starting to take hold and starting to get traction, it still wasn't great, but it was the traction we needed to propel us. They wanted out, and that's okay. It wasn't for them. And I'm glad that they figured it out so that I could then pick up things and continue, because I had faith in this. But then again, it was almost like a whole restart again. I pushed off a lot of things and didn't do necessarily a lot of fun things. I still found time to do things, but I had to be very picky about the things that I did. And that's the difference between treating your company as a business and treating it as a hobby.
Can I go for a nuts and bolts else item that goes along with this?
Absolutely.
One of those that I've seen, someone starting a small business,
Mhm.
they fail to see the importance of setting up a separate bank account for the business. Now, in a previous podcast, we talked about sub accounts, separate accounts, ways to divvy out the sales tax, the float, setting aside funds for materials, all those things. I'm going far simpler than that.
You are.
Just a separate account for the business.
Yeah, people tend to mingle their personal money with their business money. And as soon as you do that, as our good attorney, Tricia Cifuentes of Dawson Law Firm would say, that pierces the corporate veil when you commingle money. And the other thing is you have X number of dollars and you don't know which dollar's which.
Yeah.
So having that separate account is key.
But those are some of the base level critical items and really being committed to your success. Understanding that you are going to have to sacrifice some things to have your business.
Yes. And a lot of people aren't willing to necessarily do that. But if you want to be successful in business, it's usually those first 5 to 7 years are the most critical. And most businesses don't even make it to a year. By year 5, almost 75% of the businesses started or gone.
Yeah.
It's often like this one little cartoon that you see, and I know you and I've both seen it, of digging for the diamonds. And the one person, it looks like they're about 4 feet away from hitting that diamond thing, and they gave up and walked away.
Yep.
And the other person's still going at it with the enthusiasm, and they're within an inch of cracking that. That's exactly what it is like in business, because people say, I'm bleeding money. I have to put a tourniquet on. And to do that, I have to go get a job working for somebody else. But if you keep at it and you keep persistent and you keep doing the right things, you will hit that diamond gold mine and you will become successful and you will have the funds that you would hope to and live the dreams that you wanted to when you first started the company.
And on top of that, we had an episode on perfect practice.
Yes.
No business is perfect. No client is perfect. And regardless of what business you start, there are always going to be some messy parts. Accepting that is just fine, but deciding that you will be consistent, that you will be at your business, that you will look for good resources, that you will look for a good business coach. And if you can find a good cleaning business coach, maybe you should use them. Sorry, shameless plug. Just deciding that it's going to be hard and that's okay. I think that mindset is huge. And it is one of the things that I have said to you, brother, you are the most resilient person I have ever met. And folks, if you are trying to do this, you need to contact Joel. Joel, thank you.
You're welcome.